What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason Jey Uso lost and crashed out on Raw, a WrestleMania main event scrapped, a big WWE return incoming, WWE unhappy with Gunther, the truth behind the Paul Heyman incident, why AJ Lee was missing from Raw, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we'll recap the show but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, a hot open. It was welcome that Raw opened up with a segment revolving around the women's tag team titles, as both teams of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss staked a claim for the titles, and the crowd were fully invested in both teams. It's appreciated that WWE are finally taking the women's tag titles seriously. Number 2, LA Knight wins. Now it's official, LA Knight has advanced to the finals of the John Cena tournament. LA Knight defeated Jey Uso in a decent TV match, and it's about time that WWE went all in on LA Knight. But we all know who's winning, right? As number 3, Gunther advances. A Gunther vs Solo Sikoa was an odd dynamic due to the heel versus heel presentation, but it surprisingly worked. As expected, Gunther advanced in the tournament, and now the finals are set. Gunther will now take on LA Knight to determine who will face John Cena next weekend in his final ever match in WWE. Who are you guys rooting for? Number 4, Jey crashes out. Now after Jey Uso's loss to LA Knight, he absolutely lost it. Jey would lash out at ringside, going insane, and it appears that we could be looking at a huge character shift for the former world champion. But is he turning heel? Well, we'll look at that in the news. Number 5, Breakker is coming for Punk. A Bron Breakker cut the greatest promo of his entire career on Raw, and now it appears that Breakker is now coming for CM Punk and the world title on the January 5th Raw. January 5th is just a standard Raw, but it's likely to be presented as a big deal due to it being the 1-year anniversary of the show debuting on Netflix. This was a match that was reportedly going to go down at WrestleMania, but WWE have evidently pivoted. Number 6, Dirty Dom is him. Now come on, could Dirty Dom get any better after he left on the side plates from when he defeated John Cena? Any other heel would be quick to take those side plates off, but for Dom, it's a memento for how he defeated the greatest of all time, even with a little bit of help. Just a great little small detail. Number 7, insane Styles clash. AJ Styles continues to impress at the tail end of his pro wrestling career. During his tag title defense on Raw, he delivered perhaps the finest Styles clash of all time. As Kofi Kingston was prone on the ropes, Kingston would be hit with a Dragon Lee stomp, and when Kingston bounced off the ropes, AJ managed to turn this into a Styles clash. It was executed as sheer perfection, and it was easily one of the best spots of 2025. And main event mayhem. The main event of Raw solely revolved around the women, specifically the women's tag division. The tag match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who we also have to mention had an incredible sign in the crowd, versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss would end in a no contest, and numerous teams would interfere. The show ended with the Judgment Day all on the same page, so it appears that WWE see a ton of value in keeping the returning Liv Morgan attached to the stable in some capacity. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, no Mask Man. The Masked Man was not revealed on Raw, but he was directly mentioned. Paul Heyman would state that he has no idea who the man behind the mask is, and WWE are running with the idea that Adam Pearce is concerned that Seth Rollins has pulled the ruse of the century once again. Due to the identity of the man in the mask already leaking online, it's somewhat of a big surprise that WWE haven't already delivered the reveal, but this is likely to come soon rather than later. And an epic show? Or was Triple H justified in promoting this Raw show as epic? Well, not quite. We all know that Triple H is just full of buzzwords nowadays. Whilst the show was solid, nothing stood out as epic, and this was another instance of Triple H using hyperbolic tactics to generate interest in the product. And as always, every week, we fall for it. But at least nothing on the show stood out as downright ugly. The show did a solid job in furthering new and existing storylines following War Games, and hopefully WWE can keep this positive momentum going as we head towards the end of the calendar year. What do you guys think of the Red Brand this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first story looks at the real reason Jey Uso lost and crashed out. Now our top story today takes a look at the real reason why Jey Uso crashed out on Raw. Following Jey's loss to LA Knight on Raw last night, the former world champion completely lost it. Jay would cause mayhem at ringside, even tipping over the Prime bottle stand, which got a good pop. And this is clearly a culmination of Jay's in-ring losses, specifically losing the world title to Gunther. There is now speculation that Jay could be turning heel, but is this the legitimate reason why he crashed out during Raw? Now, unfortunately, it's unlikely that Jay is actually turning heel. The main reason for this is that the live crowd is still firmly behind him, and turning him heel just because the internet doesn't like his work isn't the smartest idea in the world. If Jay was getting booed in the arena and the live crowds couldn't stand him, it would definitely make more sense. But that's not what's happening. Jay's still getting insane reactions in the live arenas. Additionally, WWE is a business, and turning one of the most popular merch sellers in the company heel would be detrimental to merch sales. There's also no guarantee that the fans will boo Jay if he turns heel, as they love the eating concept, and if he suddenly drops this, his character may be labeled as uninteresting, and the live crowd may just want him to turn back into a babyface again. It's more likely that Jay is now on a redemption arc, and this could all lead to him reuniting with Jimmy Uso and seeking the tag titles once more. Jay would cut a promo backstage at Raw where his character arc of him trying to prove himself to Roman Reigns came to the forefront. Matter of fact, Roman said it best, them titles look best on his shoulders, not mine. Now, we really know how much the tag divisions are struggling on both representative brands, so the legendary tag team known as the Usos going for the tag titles at WrestleMania 42 could be the very direction of this big angle. WrestleMania 42 could act as the redemption arcs of all the members of the original bloodline, as Reigns seeks the world title once more, whilst the Usos seek to become the tag champions for the first time in 3 years. Next up, the WrestleMania main event scrapped. And there's huge news coming out of Raw last night, as it was now confirmed that the January 5th Raw would now feature CM Punk vs Braun Breaker for the world title. Now this is newsworthy, as it was reported this past weekend that Punk vs Breaker was locked in as a WrestleMania 42 main event. Whilst this could still main event the show, WWE delivering the match for free on Raw suggests that WWE has formally pivoted, and a new WrestleMania main event is now on the table. There are calls from fans to see the WWE Crown Breaker, especially as they're in dire need of a youth movement. It's entirely possible that WWE are looking to go with Breaker vs Roman Reigns as a WrestleMania Night 1 main event, as all signs point towards Reigns winning the Royal Rumble in 9 weeks' time. Next up, a big WWE return incoming. And did you guys catch that subtle hint that Jacob Fatu is returning to WWE programming? As Solo looked up on the production truck to see Jacob Fatu's face on it. According to PW Insider Elite, Fatu is very close to returning, and he'll be back on the road in the next few weeks. There was talk backstage at WWE Survivor Series that Jacob Fatu is close to returning to WWE storylines after taking time off to recover from a dental procedure. One source believed Jacob could be back on the road within the next few weeks, but we have not confirmed an exact date. Jacob Fatu was in the midst of a feud with Drew McIntyre before his injury, so it's likely that this feud is revisited upon Fatu's return to television. Next up, the truth behind the Paul Heyman incident. Now, the incident between Paul Heyman and a young fan has dominated wrestling news for the past few days, and it's even landed on the homepage of TMZ. While criticism continues to be directed at Heyman for pushing the fan, it turns out that we didn't know the full story. According to a new report from PW Insider, the initial footage didn't show the entire story, and Heyman didn't actually push the fan. However, in speaking to WWE sources, we were told that the initial camera angle of the footage being shared did not tell the entire story. Indeed, there is footage shot from behind the child that shows he actually made his way around several security members and police officers who were putting space between the talent and the WWE performers, pushing past them to get near Heyman. The report added that it was a member of the security team that pulled a fan backwards. This footage also shows that at the same time Heyman put his arm up to distance himself from the fan, one of the security officials physically yanked the fan backwards, and it was likely that person who moved the fan, not Heyman. One WWE source stated the blame should fall on the local security for failing to prevent the fan from getting around them, not Heyman or any other performer put in that no-win situation where they have to react in real time as they're trying to return backstage. Looking at the camera angle, should this now stop all criticism directed at Heyman? It's hardly a surprise that WWE were quick to defend Heyman, as it seems apparent that he didn't do anything wrong. What do you guys think? Next up, WWE unhappy with Gunther? Gunther would advance in the John Cena tournament last night on Raw, but now there's concern that they may not be as high on the former world champion as initially expected. According to WrestleVotes Live via Fightful Select, some in WWE aren't too keen on Gunther being the one to retire John Cena, but it's reported that these names understand why Gunther is the chosen one. Now, could this now impact who decides to move forward between Gunther and LA Knight? It's definitely going to play a huge factor. Gunther was a name reported to retire Cena way back in August, and it'd be a major pivot if WWE changed plans at this late stage. If he does manage to, Gunther would have retired two top WWE superstars, that being Goldberg and John Cena. Next up, why AJ Lee was missing from Raw. AJ Lee helped deliver a huge win with the babyfaces on the War Games team, submitting Becky Lynch in the match. However, why wasn't she present on Raw this week? Now, according to Fightful's post-Raw show, they've now confirmed that AJ Lee is not on a full-time comeback and never was. So AJ Lee will come and go. When I saw people posting right after a return saying, oh, she's back and it's full-time, I was like, hold on partner, before we giddy up here, that's not what I was hearing. As you can see, there hasn't been anything close to a full-time return yet. She showed up for a couple of weeks, did the War Games build, and now she's gone again. Now, according to Fightful, there isn't any backstage heat on her. AJ's just not going full in on this return. And finally, huge news for TNA. Now, final story today takes a look at the future of TNA, as the company has landed one of the most promising TV deals in recent memory. According to reputable outlet Sports Illustrated, TNA looks to be headed to AMC in 2026. TNA Wrestling will have a new home in 2026, and all signs point to it being AMC. Last month, The Takedown on SI exclusively reported that AMC had emerged as a contender for TNA's media rights. The company has been shopping its programming to different networks throughout 2025, with the expectation within the television industry being that a new deal would be announced by the end of the year. The report continued by saying, while the social tease strongly hints at it, several sources across the TV and wrestling industries indicated to The Takedown on SI that the belief is that TNA's programming, at least in part, but possibly in full, is headed to AMC networks. This is a huge deal for TNA, and it's always great to hear companies outside of WWE thriving. But there you have it, folks. Our look at Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.